Hello everyone and welcome to a fourth episode of Anarchy in Lunaris. Last time I said Anarchy in Stellaris, and I messed it up pretty bad, but today I got it right on the first try. Okay, cool. Today we have only 2 players, and we're only going to be playing for an hour and a half, but we will still enjoy ourselves. Your characters had made your way to the village of the old man. It's basically a sort of refugee camp. It's not really like suited to accommodate as many people as there are here, and you can see different types of habitations. So, for example, there's going to be a couple of huts where what are they called? Where the giants live, the ones who have a third eye that see spirits and horns. You see a couple of there are just a couple of Duxarists here and there, very few of them. They all seem to live inside of a place that looks completely made out of Gestalt wood, but it looks mechanical in nature. It looks like machinery. Like kind of like a subway with legs or something, but just like settled down in the middle of on the outskirts of the village. Most of the village is inside of a cave, but it protrudes up. They have this sort of like operation above with the elevators and stuff. It's all sort of like discreetly hidden inside of a cove, and if you didn't like stumble upon this place, it would be hard to wander through the mountains and just find it and just see it. So it's a pretty good hiding spot. You see a couple of the most of the places are tents, basically. Most elves, daimas, even a lot of the giants are just living in tents, a lot of which are like kind of rickety. It doesn't look like the place is heated very well, but yeah, it's they make do with what they have. But something else that you see that they have an abundance of that you don't see in Crankfort is they have particular clothing that you've never seen, or that you've seen on the unpaid interns being brought into the blood pits. You see they have flags of the different tribes that used to live around here, or flags of the countries that they used to live in before they were pushed to this mountain. And they all have those different objects that seem cultural, that seem very different, and it all works together. They all seem to like share with things with one another, and you see all sorts of different like ways of cooking in during the few days that you stay there. All sorts of different people pray to very different gods, but everybody seems to get along well. There's this general mood of trying to keep this alive. That the way of life that they have is what they're trying to protect. So you are given a couple of days to rest and to prepare for your expedition before you head out. What you know is this: a couple of hunters and a couple of warriors have gone missing in the mountains. They most of them were like trying to hunt downhill from where the village is, or and a few of them were the warriors were heading up to the monastery that sits at the very top of the tallest mountain in this region. the you don't know a lot about the monastery. You just know that it's this very sacred place that that is very like important to a lot of religious people in Crankfort, and that the occupation of Crankfort by vampires would have been much harder if they had decided to tear down this place. But now it serves as a refuge for the faith, for the Church of the Many Gods, which is one of the 4 factions of the Resistance. So you know that some people disappeared going up there. What you know is that the bodies were found mangled and frozen, hit by something very strong, and just left there to die. You're going to be given, you're going to be given like coats, fur coats to protect yourselves against the cold. So you can write down that you have like fur coats as armor, and write down the modifiers that those give you for protection. Walter, you are given a -5 quality fur coat. It's a really shabby one, and you can tell that they took the one that kind of, smelled like piss, kind of hadn't been taken care of properly, but they're giving you something to protect yourself against the cold anyways. I don't think the -5 quality diminishes the protection that it offers, but it might. I'll let you check in on that.
If it's considered like armor against cold, it would probably reduce it by 1.
Okay.
If it's considered like a skill check, then technically it would reduce it by 10. I'm not sure though.
Well, like if you're going to be wearing it on top of your heavy armor, you might incur some penalties, but it is going to help protect you against the cold. We're going to say that the protection against the cold is unchanged, but every other AP is going to be higher by is going to be lowered by 1. In the meantime, rifle. So like one of the elves that lives here. Well, no, one of the Duxarists actually is going to take the time to teach rifle a fire spell that will allow rifle to keep one of you warm during your trip, one at a time, by using his innate magic. And every time he changes persons or needs to cast it, the person holding rifle must have the spell and be able to read it so that rifle can cast this. But he's kind of low mana. He's kind of like not going to be that useful in the combat, but he does take the time to drain a bit of Xeon from a few of the different villagers while you're staying there until he's like at full Xeon. Okay, what else? So Rifle's gonna be taking care of like keeping you alive. The conditions are pretty harsh, especially this time of year. Outside of the village, the village has this benefit of being mostly inside of a cave that retains most of the heat. So, while you're staying there for a couple of days, what is your general attitude while you're healing, recovering, and stuff like that?
Well, I admit I don't know if they would let me, but Walter needs to get back to the city because he has a meeting Void Night, and if he vanishes, well, that would just be very bad for him and possibly very bad for them.
I believe at the end of the last game we established that Whisper was going to use the information that you'd given her about that meeting to against the Void Knight. And they were going to come up with an alibi for why you it had to be away from Crankfort for a little bit so like that will get taken care of by the resistance. It's sort of like minor background stuff, but you will be able to keep your social position despite not going to work and stuff. So yeah, you're good with that, but otherwise, like this, I mean, like. It seems that the party, the faction that your mother and Whisper belong to, they're being accommodating. They're trying to help you. Oh no, wait. Sorry, your mother belongs to the Makers. Lorena was part of the party. She's the very political one who's like writing speeches about revolution and things like this. So yeah, lots of people. Like most of the villagers, give you the stink eye. Some of the kids come and play next to you sometimes, but that's about it. And you see a couple of villagers who come pray to Rifle. Apparently, Rifle is a sort of symbol of the resistance because he was being wielded by Lorena, who resisted for years. And some villagers seem to honor her, some villagers seem to honor Rifle, but all of them seem not in the best mood that you're next to Rifle when this happens. But otherwise, that's mostly the general attitude. What's your attitude in return? Well,
Despite this sort of being what he's been fighting for a while, he doesn't really go for here. He's not trying to be threatening or any such thing. He is just sort of trying to be as calm and as doesn't make a face if anyone looks at him wrong. He doesn't strike back. He just sort of remains stoic and lets them think as they will think.
Okay.
If they want to pry to Rifle, that's cool. He's gonna ask Rifle a lot of questions later.
All right.
But otherwise, he's just stoic and letting them see him as they will see.
Okay. So for me, it's you're either going to roll etiquette if you're trying to play into the customs that you see around here, and you're pretty good at imitating those. You've been trained in etiquette as a Vetala, or I feel that it would be streetwise if you're trying to like remain stoic and have a nice attitude towards the locals. Your score is the same, but it's more of a flavor thing. Which skill you're going to use?
Okay. In that case, I will attempt a streetwise.
Okay. Yeah, you're not partaking in their. Okay.
Hey, that is actually not bad compared to what I usually roll.
Okay.
Wow, 60. Pretty decent.
Yeah, 80. That's pretty good. So yeah, you're getting some people to, kind of, a lot of the younger people in the village are going to be a bit more comfortable with you. They're going to come to you. Some of them are even going to try to offer to see if you need anything to survive. You see someone you're going to see a young daima bring a sickly looking goat and saying, you need blood to survive, right? And like she looks like she's about to hand you the leash, and then just like puts the leash on one of the sticks of your tent and just leaves the goat there and flees.
Does she like immediately run away?
She not immediately, but you can see there's like this fear in her eyes, and you don't know if it's fear of you or fear of the two elders, the two old people who are looking from the elevator out of the cavern. Because your tent is on the outside.
That's what I figured. All right. In that case, he was going to like stand up and like walk forward and be very tall and say, "Does this belong to your family?"
Okay, so the little Daima, you can see that like she's probably something like 15. She says, Becky was a present to my mom when she got married. She's kind of old, but and she doesn't make a lot of milk anymore. And my mom, when I told my mom you looked hungry, she said you can have Becky, and you can have Becky.
What?
I'm going to ask Rifle. Do they use the same currency we use? Would like our Vitala currency have any use to them?
Yeah, definitely. Like they can use those coins because this place has been completely conquered by the Vitala Empire. Any like the most of the bargaining is done with this. You've seen in this place strange old coins that you've never seen before being passing hands. But mostly people but mostly the people around here seem to be using like the usual gold coins, silver coins, and things like that.
Gotcha. So it's all based on weight. Dang it! I honestly don't know how much a goat would be, especially like a sick goat. So and I don't have appraisal.
It would be you like. This is what you've been eating all of your life. It feels like it's a mediocre quality food ration. So mediocre food is 4 copper coins.
All right. Okay, that actually works then. I thought I was going to be underselling it, but he just sort of like put just 5 silvers. He holds them out to her and says, "Take this back to them."
She like. You can see she's very hesitant to take it. Do you? And I think Rifle would say something to her like, he doesn't bite often, and like she moves her hand forward, and when the silver drops into her hand, she looks at it and she says, That's too much.
Well, it's not as though it is as common out here. This is much more important to me than it might be for someone of your family. So thank you.
The little girl nods and like goes up to the goat and with like looking kind of teary-eyed and like pets the old goat on the head and says, "Goodbye, Becky," and then like turns around and starts to leave. You know you can feed without killing killing creatures, but you also know that like you haven't gotten that much food recently.
He is going he is going to go back into. I assume he's been allowed to stay in a tent.
Yeah, that's your tent on the map here.
Okay, cool. Oh, wait a minute. I have all of these character sheets up. Where is it? Is this right here?
Right here, yeah, that tent.
Oh man, I got the nicest stinking tent. All right, I'll take that.
It's the one that's like in the cold out of the village cave. Like it
looks nice.
You're practically you're practically basically like a watch post for intruders. They'll hear your screams if the village gets attacked first.
I guess that is fair. He brings the goat back inside of the tent, and then like sits down and looks at it, and with full intent to eat it for just a few moments, or at least drink its blood. He just sort of sits there and stares at the goat and says, "What do goats eat?"
You see this one is like munching on something, and when you look at its teeth, it's actually just like munching on a rock right now.
Do goats eat rocks?
It looks blind in one eye and like very frail. Do you have the animal's skill? You do not have the animal's skill.
I have no idea how to take care of a goat.
You do not.
I was sort of asking Rifle the question. I don't know if he has any animals.
Rifle.
I can look at that. Never mind.
Yeah, you have access to his character sheet for today's session. He has minus 15. Well, no, it's intellectual, so he can't really roll. Rifle is like water, bread. I don't know.
I don't have bread. I'll have to find some bread. He is going to he grabs the leash and he doesn't have sleight of hand. Hopefully this goat won't like go running out into the wilderness. He's going to try to tie it to one of the poles of his tent.
Okay.
So
right.
he will heal without his super fancy healing for how many days?
It's just gonna be like 2 days, I think, before you leave.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He will gain still a good bit of health.
All right. What about Vand? What is Vand's general attitude towards this place, and what do you do during those few days? And we're like given the choice to sleep wherever, where do you go? Tez?
Sorry, I got a phone call right now.
Okay.
It was some random machine, so it's fine.
Okay.
So, I mean, is there another tent, or would I have to sleep in like the same tent as?
No, you because you're not a dirty Vitala knight, you are actually allowed to stay in one of the nicer tents. In fact, like you've been offered to with the others to stay in the huts that belong to one of the warriors who did not return from going to the monastery.
Okay, I'll sleep in one of those.
All right. What about your general like disposition towards the whole village?
She would like really like this town because there's no Vatala and she sees all these different people kind of working.
Mm-hmm.
So she just like wander around, kind of see their daily lives and help them if she could with anything.
Okay. With your powers, there is a lot of things that you could help with. So around the place, like there's lots of times when they need to like go to some place like to either to Crankfort or to the monastery to get supplies, resources, and things like this, or to like they're getting a lot of support through the tunnels from Crankfort, but those aren't always very safe. So yeah, with your teleportation powers, there's lots that you can help with. There's hold on. There's a couple of other things that you could do. Do you offer to help with your powers or just?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So after you tell people what you can do, there's you're gonna.
I don't tell them I can mind control people.
Okay. Do you tell them that you have some telepathy?
Yes.
Okay. Chief Bakaya says, tell me, can you do something about memories from difficult events?
I think I can. Let me double.
You can. You have alternate memory.
Okay, yeah. I tell I can change the mem.
Change.
I would only do so in very severe.
There's people here who've been really hurt by wars and the plunder that's been going on through this land and through other lands. Some people will never fully recover. Some of my warriors freeze in battle when they hear a certain noise, like the flames of a Duxarist, or when they feel on their skin the ultrasounds of a Vitala controlling animals. They're stuck in their memories of those events. It's not helping anyone for them to be troubled by this past. Could you do a favor and could you do us a favor and heal some of them of their difficult times they've had to go through?
I will help anyone who wants it, but I don't do this against their will. Or I won't do this against their will.
Of course.
There still is a chance that even though the memory has been sort of smudged out, it could resurface.
I understand. Okay. So pretty soon you have a long line of people outside of where you were, outside of the hut where you are, just coming in and describing, things that have been happening in like in their lives and events that they've had to go through. They want you to remove. A few of the warriors, they're talking about like fights, moments when they saw like their friends dying, or sometimes even like when they had to kill someone. And a few of the civilians also come to you with that. The civilians are much more, quizzy about the entire thing. They make sure with you that your powers, don't get out of hand and don't like slip and erase other things. Some of them like seem very hesitant and they like change their minds halfway through.
Yeah, I tell them that if at any point they change their mind, I will stop.
Okay. All right. Can you just roll potential to see how you're doing in general? You can have time modifiers if you're, taking the time to concentrate and things like this.
Let's say a minute per.
For each person? Okay. That's plus 40. Okay. So that would be in general a difficulty of 140 to resist, and if it doesn't work the first time, oh no, that's psychic illusion. But yeah, that's a very good. It's not psychic illusion; it's outer memory. So 180 is going to be 120 psychic resistance. So yeah, that's like for most of them it works instantly. For some of them you have to like do it like twice or 3 times for the new memory to work.
That was such a low roll, Arn.
Yeah. But like you're pretty good at this. You're pretty talented, so you're doing fine. Another thing that happens is, while you were erasing those memories, you kind of like live through some of them. You have to like see what you're erasing in order to like replace it with something different. So yeah, you can tell those people have been through a lot. A lot of them are like refugees from a lot of the different lands that were being attacked, that were like casualties of the war between Vitala and Xarists, the Dark Elves, and the vampires, and a lot of them are just people who've lived on this mountain their entire lives, because that's one of the last places to be conquered by the Vitala Empire. And like it was one of the it was like a place where people from all different cultures assembled, and yeah, this village is like one of the last remnants of that patchwork of civilization. But they've been tracked by the Vitala throughout their lives. A lot of them, like their existence outside of the walls of Crankfort is illegal, because they're all technically members of the resistance. So yeah, you learn a lot about them, about like different cultures, about like mostly the difficulties they've been going through, and a lot of them are very grateful to you for like freeing them of that. You hear a few reports of people like sleeping much better, and some of the warriors are doing much better. They don't freeze up as much during combat, so like you're being very helpful. Walter, okay, just one thing. So do both of you take the fur armor, even if you might get a few like small penalties from that?
Does the psychokinetic armor help against the
I do not think it does, but I'm gonna check on your character sheet. I think it's yeah.
It says it helps against everything except the.
Okay. So yes. So technically, it would work by like, blocking snow from reaching you and things like this. So psychokinetic armor would be able to protect you, and with your potential at 140, you'd be able to have a protection of 4 against cold, which is twice as much as what the fur provides.
I have the amplified power, so
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yes, you maintain it at a higher degree, so it would be a protection of 6, 3 times what the fur armor grants you. So yeah, that seems really good. Okay, Avalby, does Walter take the fur armor on top of the other 2 that you're already wearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he technically takes initiative penalties, but he's not going to fight with it on, probably.
Okay. So I'll let you calculate how much of, like, if that gives you any penalties or something. But I'll let you write it down. Real quick, it does with the modified quality. It gives you cutting 1. Impact 0, thrust 1, heat 0, electricity 1, and cold 1. And they're gonna like you don't divide them by 2 and like erase them to add to your total. You just like add 1 for cutting, thrust, electricity, and cold. Okay.
All right. So just one more. And since mine is the -5, does it actually go down 1, or does
I've
that
I've already taken that into account.
Okay,
basically.
very good.
Cool. So Vand, you're walking around pretty much with normal clothes, and and the cold doesn't really get to you as much as it does for other people. Dagger will probably take the armor. Worst case scenario, I will ask if he takes it like next time. Cool. Okay. Walter, do you feed on the goat at all before you as you're preparing to leave? How do you all prepare for your expedition?
Walter is weirdly preoccupied with the goat for most of the rest of that time they spend there, he's probably gonna go out and like say, "Hey, we're bread." He's gonna try to find some sort of food for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he is just obviously very deep in thought walking through. He looks like he's brooding all over town, and nobody knows why.
Okay. Yeah, you've got the like whole Batman attitude down. You find out.
They're gonna ask why, and he's gonna be like, "There's this goat in my tent. And I don't want it to die."
You find out pretty soon that the goat manages itself by eating the grass that's around the village, or some of the mushrooms that grow inside of the cave. So yeah, it survives, but it like you can feel that its heartbeat is frail, and you feel this weird sensation because you're not necessarily used to the feeling of mortality, because Vitala can live practically forever, as long as like they keep growing old, but they can be brought back with a lot of blood and stuff like this. So
yes, a very, very, very old dad.
All right. So how do you and Vand... Okay, what about Vand? How is Vand preparing for, like the hunt for that creature?
As I would say that she would just like be helping the people, so she'd be pretty busy with that. But she would ask the people if they have any other information after she kind of.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to roll for Streetwise to get some rumors.
Perfect. I think I have.
You have 60. Nice. All right, 90. Yeah. Okay. So you get. Here's the couple of rumors that you get. The people who go disappearing, they go disappearing on the coldest of nights. Some of the town folks who have to venture out of the village during times like these, either to collect firewood or because they're like, herding some beasts or scouting and having a look at Crankford. A lot of them report that they've heard singing inside of, they've heard the mountain sing in a very beautiful feminine voice. And some people and some of the villagers report to you that there have been that they're pretty sure the thing that is killing them, that is killing their like hunters, is a large beast. Some of them have spotted large footprints in the snow that either belong to a very big wolf or bear or tiger or something more spiritual. So yeah, a few of the town folks report to you that like they're cursed because they haven't been honoring all of the traditions of their culture, that they haven't been giving the proper offerings to the spirits, and that's why the spirits are angry and are taking away their hunters. That's all of the information that you get. You can, if you have the occult skill, you can roll occult to get to know some stuff. But
I don't think I have.
No, you don't have it. What about Walter? Does Walter have any points in occult?
Occult? I thought I had just a smidgen, but not a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Oh, yes, I do. I have just a little.
Yeah. So does Vand partake? Does Vand share the rumors that you've obtained?
Yeah, I would, but I don't think I'll help.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. 18 is not great. And let's see. Rifle would probably know a little bit better. Ooh, yeah, that's an open roll. Okay.
Much better.
Okay. So Rifle has this idea. Okay. Rifle knows that there's singing spirits. Some of them ghosts and things like this. It's not necessarily the thing that's killing them. But also, Rifle mentions that of all of the creatures that he can think of that would have like paw marks, supernatural or not, he can think of a few that would be like this dangerous and kill a few people, but none that would not consume the bodies after the hunt. So it's so Rifle just seems perplexed that the bodies were not like devoured if what you're hunting is really a beast. So yeah, that's the information that he has. I think he's going to name a couple of things that it could be. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna look at the list of creatures that it could be real quick. So it could be a Gwilgi, the undead dogs that a lot of the Vitala keep as pets. It could be a spectral beast. Which is a sort of like another sort of like ghost dog type creature. It could be a child of Baal, a bat-like creature. This high up, it could be either an Arctic chimera, or if the circumstances push a creature, it could be an Arc chimera, or like a very big wolf, or a very big tiger, or polar bear. Those are basically your options according to him. Oh, it could also be an escaped sphinx from Crankfurt. Yeah.
So that's quite a long.
There are some of these things that sound fun and other things that do not.
Yeah. So do you, based on like all of this information, are you going to ask of the village any special equipment? Are you going to buy stuff from them, negotiate to have it given to you? What do you do before you venture out into the frost?
I asked them if they have any spare daggers.
Yes, that you won't need to make a roll for. You can just have you can just be given a dagger.
I asked if I could have 3 regular plain.
Regular plain what?
Just regular daggers, not special quality or anything. Run-of-the-mill dagger.
When you're asking free, the person you're talking to asks, you mean throwing knives, right? You want throwing knives?
Do throwing knives have higher damage than that?
Okay, so let me answer that in a second. Okay, so the dagger is throwable and it has damage of 50 and 20 meters range.
Well, I was gonna throw it with my psychic powers. Rail. So I just want to know the base damage.
Yeah. So that's 50 for the dagger. Darts are 40. Harpoon is 100. Wow, I did not know that. That's good to know. Pistol, crossbow, longbow, parrying dagger, shuriken, sling, spiked ball. Where the hell are the?
Okay, daggers are 30.
No, Dagger is supposed to be 50 on page 71.
Damage.
On page 71. On the, I think it must be like, yeah, like, oh no, rate of fire is 50. My bad. Okay. You.
If you'll let me.
Yeah, Dagger is 30 with a speed of plus 20 and a lance, lasso, mace, parrying, dagger, quarterstaff, rapier, saber, scythe, short sword. Where the hell are the throwing knives?
I actually was under the suspicion that throwing knives were simply daggers.
Yeah.
Because daggers are throwable.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that does make sense. So yeah, you can get three daggers. In fact, like you get like, yeah, you get those just from like the tent that you're staying in. It has like a lot of like hunters equipment, furs. There's a bow and arrows. There's like meat, salted meat to last a couple of days. Flint and like, you know, stuff to start a fire. A small axe to cut down some wood, things like that. So like you got that basic equipment down. There is also climbing gear in that tent.
Oh, I asked if I take that for Walt.
Hmm?
I asked if I can maybe borrow the climbing gear to have dagger.
Yeah, you're given permission to take the climbing gear.
I give it to Dagger unless Walter wants.
Walter with his giant armor might not be the best suited for climbing.
I can't teleport you up this mountain. It's gonna take too long. It's gonna be dangerous.
I think the rifle has something for me in that regard.
Rifle can grow you wings, but it takes Xeon every time.
Yeah, I know. But now out here, he won't have to, like, turn them off every time I need to walk outside.
Yeah. So you regenerate 2 days worth of rest. And I'm gonna do that for Dagger as well. Let's see. He has a constitution of 8.
Well, I think Dagger is what's mainly sacrifice damage.
No. He took damage from like the pit trap in the previous game.
That's true.
So he's
He's Duke's wrist, though. He also recovers health really fast.
yeah, that's right. He's back to full health. Okay. What about Walter? Are you able to heal a lot of damage, or no?
I was able to heal some. I heal 30 a day when I do not have blood.
Okay.
So if I had taken blood, I would have been super fully healed, but I did not.
All right. You're still in the process of healing. So you take care of Becky the goat, but you don't feed from her?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
Do you introduce Vaughn to Becky the goat?
Well, he's not ever gonna like come forward and say, "Hey, I got this goat." But if you ever just walk up to his tent, there's gonna be a sick-looking goat inside.
I want to pet the goat. Vaughn wants to pet.
All right.
If you come over to the tent, you are free to pet the goat.
Yeah, so one of the days after you do whatever you do, you just come home to Vaughn.
All right. That evening, you light up a fire in front of your house. Dagger comes over and like you have a meeting. It's just before you're about to leave in the morning. Dagger's been, preparing. Dagger got himself a sort of like white furs to blend into the snow better. so he'll be harder to spot. And
Very good. Nice and stealthy.
yeah, he says he's prepared.
All right. I will suit up. I will. I hope that Rifle is okay with me doing this later. I know your card from Xeon is going to use upon me acquire natural capacities to give me awesome wings.
All right. Yeah. You control his character sheet. I'll let you spend the Xeon to do that.
I will do so.
And so yeah, so you're gonna have those wings on you most of the time. He's gonna have to yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just gonna like drain a little bit out of a few of the villagers, some of them with their permission, and just like to regenerate back to full Xeon before you
I was
leave.
hoping that him being worshipped here, there would be like a Sylvain who'd be like, yeah, I have 500 Xeon, here you go.
Yeah. Some like, you know, when he takes the time to ask, he always gets a little bit of something.
Very good.
So yeah, you yeah, okay. So you're good in that regard. Do you do anything around that what do you do around that campfire on the evening before you leave?
On the day when I come home and Ben is petting my goat,
Yeah.
he just sort of like walks back inside and turns to her and stares for a moment and says, "It's dying."
What? What do you mean?
Its heartbeat is getting slower, and it doesn't move very well. I think it's going to die.
Well, I'm glad you've been taking care of it in this finals. Hopefully, it's enjoying its last day.
Well, it's just been eating grass. I tried to feed it bread. I don't really know if that counts as taking care of.
I read its mind and try to see if it likes.
It is safe from the wind in here, though.
You try. Okay, so you reach out to this like very primitive mind, and touch it, and like you can see that it's a mind that is like eroded by time, and like it's an old goat. But yeah, it's also it also feels like most of the time it's isolated from the rest of the world, from its diminishing senses, and the fact that it's feeling something as clearly as your mind interact with it, like sort of like livens her up a little bit. And yeah, you find out that her favorite food is like some of the green mushrooms that grow deeper inside of the cave, but she's totally fine with just grass. You also feel this strange sensation of like the goat missing the people she was with beforehand. You get like clear images of I think I said Sylvain or Daima. What did I say?
She was a Daima.
Yeah, the sort of like Daima family, the cat people. But and like yeah, the little kid used to like give scratches to her with like her claws, and like you don't have claws like that. So yeah, that's what you.
I have claws.
All right. But yeah, that's the
But I
information.
can't read its mind.
That's the information you get found.
Okay, I tell him everything except for the green mushroom.
Okay.
Okay.
But if we go out adventuring, Vaughn will be looking for green mushroom.
All right.
Very good. You want to be the goat's favorite.
Yes.
Oh no. Okay. In that case, he will. If you tell him the scriptures thing, he will like look at his claws and be like, "That seems like a bad idea." We should go.
Okay. We do have a job to do.
I suppose we do.
Alright.
And he will gather his shield, and he'll put his helmet and mask on if he's allowed to in the city. He might he'll wait till we get out of the city because that's a bad idea. And prepare to venture out to do this deed they have set them to.
Okay. Like, are we saying that, like, this is now like sort of the morning when the glow of the sun is like making the clouds brighter?
Is that when we decided to set out in the morning? Because then, yes.
Sure. I thought that they only came out in the coldest of nights, right? That's what they told me.
During the coldest of storms,
storms.
Is when most of the accidents have been happening. But it's not necessarily like, yeah.
It seems like a bad idea just to wait for cold storms. We should try it while we still can.
Okay, dokie.
All right. So, yeah, but do you go at night or in the morning? Because Chief Bakaya would have some choice words to say if you were talking to him about like trying to brave the mountain at night.
I suppose it will be in the morning because he doesn't know anything. He's been to the mountains, but usually with a regiment of trained like trackers and people who knew how to navigate them. So he's okay with where we are.
All right. So yeah. Okay. So in the morning, you get up, gather your stuff. When you when you and Dagger come out of your tents, you see there's a sort of like procession, a line of people just wearing like fine robes that are like very decorated. A lot of those look old and patchy, but it looks very ceremonial, and like they were already waiting there before you like got out of the tent. And as you're standing there, each person in the line comes in turn and present you with something. So like some of them are presenting you with a flower. Another person has a bowl of like this strange paste that he's going to like put signs on your face with that paste. You and Dagger, and like a lot of them gives you like small trinkets, some of which look like miniature animals that you've seen, and some of them also give you like a sharpening stone and these sort of like luck charms, but they tell you specifically it's to put around a rifle or to sharpen rifle. And the last one in the line is Chief Bakaya, that says, "Good luck to you, warriors. We hope that you conquer the beast and that you're able to return with its essence so that its essence might serve the cause of the resistance." He hands you the bag that was enchanted to capture the essence of a supernatural creature, and he tells you the mountain is treacherous by and freezing by day, but by night you will you risk losing yourself. you risk falling off of cliffs and freezing to death much faster. Try to find a cave and light a fire before the sun is done setting, and good luck.
Okay.
Do you accept everything that's given to you before you leave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rifle will take all of the things. Are some of them like ornaments? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's kinda cool.
A lot of them are like ornaments. You got a lot of like leather strings that looks like things that are attached with leather strings that look like they could have been like necklaces or things like this, and that just are like offered as a tribute to Rifle. Nothing is given to you, Walter, although one person gave Vand a tooth, a Vitala tooth, and said to give it to you, and said to give it to the Vitala. Do you pass that along, Vand, or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this something that I know the meaning to?
Well, it means someone from your species got one of his tooth ripped out.
Well, that's understood. I'll remember that fighting this monster.
All right. And afterwards, you head out from the village. Where do you go? Do you head uphill towards the monastery? Do you head like downhill towards Crankfurt, or away from Crankfurt?
I kind of want to go to the monastery.
We could go to the monastery if that's what you say, though. Right now he's thinking, well, where will they most commonly attack?
So a lot of the bodies were found downhill, but a few of the people disappeared heading towards the monastery. Did any of you ask about the monastery more details before leaving, or would any of you have enough points in history to know a little bit about that place, or no?
I don't believe I would have enough history, but unless Van asked, I did not ask. It was not on my radar.
I would be pretty curious about the surroundings in general, so she
Okay. So here's what you learn about the monastery. It's called Heroes Rest Monastery. It's a very important religious place because for a lot of different reasons, but apparently it's where many heroes come to die. It's where like adventurers go when their adventures are over, or when they've been gravely wounded and they're about to die. There's something sacred about that, but you don't know. But like, yeah, you people around here sort of seem to assume that you know what it is, and don't like necessarily tell you more unless you roll a streetwise to gather more rumors.
I will do.
Okay, you will do so. Okay, 130. That's pretty good.
That's very good.
Okay, so from what you've been able to gather, this place has a hole in reality above the monastery. Something strange that occultists don't really understand, but if it is said that if a hero with a strong enough reputation dies in the monastery, reality above the monastery will open a gate to another dimension called Heroes Hall. And if the soul of that hero can make it to Heroes Hall, he will become known as that hero will become something more than just a legend. That hero will become an incarnation. Incarnations are things that are heroes that summoners can call upon to strengthen them and to be able to like repeat feats of those heroes, use artifacts by those heroes and things like this. So apparently that's where those are made. And now you understand a little bit better why that would be a very sacred place for all sorts of cultures. If a hero from your culture dies and becomes an incarnation, it lives on forever afterwards. All sorts of summoners can just summon it and use its powers and things like that. So that's what you learn. Not all of this might be true, but it's what you get.
I wonder what would happen if we brought Becky here.
Who's Becky?
Becky is the goat.
Team the goat back.
Walter, as you're leaving your tent, Becky's gonna bat you. Do you take her with you? Do you leave her there?
Sorry, one moment.
Do you leave Becky there or take her with you?
I do not take her with us.
Okay. All right. So Becky's gonna stay behind.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was being talked to. Okay, so no, he will not. As amazing as it sounds, as some way to save Becky, no, he's not going to take.
All right. Okay. You start heading upwards towards the monastery. The wind's blowing strongly. Like pretty soon you reach like the state of the elevation where there's eternal snows, and the whole place starts to look very isolated. You lose sight of the village very quickly, and even though you can hear the echoes of the forges from Frankfurt below you, you still it's about the only that sounds is pretty soon covered by the sound of what's it called, of the wind. You start to make your way upwards, and hold on one second. All right, I'm going to paste your all right, I'm gonna get your characters here in just 1 second. All right, everybody make a Becky's not coming. Everybody make a physical resistance check. Difficulty 120. Every point of armor you have against cold reduces the difficulty by 10.
I don't have to make that resistance.
You don't have to?
No.
All right.
You said it's 120?
Yes. So for you, it would be 60 if you have your armor on.
Yeah.
According to this, I have 140 resistance.
Wow.
Okay, well, I made it without needing the armor anyways.
Okay, cool.
Oh, very good.
Cool. Rifle. Okay.
Should rifle make one? I forgot. I figured he did because he was a sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna make one for Vand. And Vand, he would have plus 20 because he would have the fur to give him like bonus. Okay, cool.
He got it.
He got it. He got it as well. He did not have. Oh no, it's Vand. I was making a sorry. He already had armor. He had an armored long coat, which already gave him 2 against the cold, so that would have been like a 3 in total. But yeah. Okay, so dagger makes it. Hold on, just checking. He had he rolled a 56, and he had 85. Yeah, that's more than enough. Okay. And rifle. Yeah, can you make a roll for rifle, please, Appleby? Because even though he's a sword, he's still okay.
Rifle feels cold.
Yeah. Basically, the coal starts to like seep into his body and like disrupts the magical systems inside of it. So he is going to take some cold damage. That is 8 is 28.
28 damage?
Half of that, 14.
Okay. So he is at 71.
Yeah.
Does he get any bonuses for being covered in leather strips now?
If you do cover him in, well, he's gonna get the benefits of the fur armor if you put him inside of the, inside of it.
Okay. I just mean because everybody kept throwing ornaments on him, but
Yeah.
no.
Oh, I know. I think he's maintaining his spell to keep himself warm instead of maintaining other people warm, like he was.
Okay.
Like he
I was gonna say if I was like, oh, he's gonna maintain on Walter. Walter's the person who is his wielder, but I don't really need it.
Yeah, you're doing okay. All right. Yeah, you start to trek up the mountain. There's this narrow path that seems to have been used for generations and generations. That's like that like winds along the edge of the mountain. In some places, stone stairs have been carved into the rock, or stones have been placed there. There are markers all around the place to indicate, like piles of stones to indicate that you're heading in the right direction. And as you head up, you are. I'm gonna ask everybody to roll notice.
And now that I'm playing rifle, does rifle get a notice through my eyes?
Yes.
Ooh, I fumbled mine.
Oof.
Big fumble.
All
Serious
right.
fumble for me.
Big fumble. All right, and can you roll for rifles too? And I should roll for dagger.
There's rifles. Rifle got better than me, even though he has no training and he is a sword.
Okay. So here's the different things that you notice. First of all, as the evening goes on, Vand, you're going to start hearing in the wind something like someone is singing. It's this crystalline melody, this angelic voice that mixes in with the wind and almost seems to sing at the same time as the wind is blowing. But also, like, there's most of the time you're not really sure it's there. It does seem when you do hear it, it is somewhere on higher up on the path that you're taking. It's basically like it sounds like there's someone just like around the next corner of the mountain, and that like once you turn it, you're gonna see this person. But every time you do, there's no one there, and like the sound keeps being pretty far away and drowned with wind. Dagger notices some is going to notice, like, he's gonna go at some point he's gonna like see a group of mountain goats, and he's going to notice that, like, you know, one of them looks pretty wounded. He takes like some time off of the path, and he's gonna say that he spotted some like paw marks not far from, you know, the path that the mountain goats were on, but paw marks that, you know, seem to head uphill. and seem to be following one of the goats that has, moved away from the rest of the pack. And while he's out there looking for that, Avalby, you're going to see. You're gonna see let me try to think of an interesting thing. I think I know what happens. You think you spot the monastery. You think you spot the monastery just around, like you see this like large rock that's obviously been carved. So it's like it looks like the walls of the monastery, and you start to head in this direction, not realizing that you're heading towards a cliffside. So I'm going to have you roll acrobatics to catch yourself before you fall into before like you fall into a ravine or something.
All right. Well, I don't have that, so let's go.
All right.
63. Oh, that's not with the minus 30. I forgot. So 33.
Okay, 33. Okay, Vand, as Dagger is away scouting for you, you see Walter start to walk out with rifle and like off of the path and slip and start to fall on the slope. The slope is pretty sharp, and despite his and it doesn't look like he's in a good position to take flight with the wings that he has. What do you do, Vand?
Could I try to use psychokinetic trap to trap him to the...
Yes, you could try to do that, yes. Okay. All right. It's gonna I'm gonna require a Avalby, what's your total strength?
My total strength is it morning? No, it's morning, so
sorry,
I would not have that.
Sorry.
So
What's your total weight is what I meant to ask.
Oh, wait. I believe we said with rifle
And the
I
armor.
am at and my arm. Yep. Without adding the cloak, I am at 245 or 345 pounds.
345 pounds. All right, that's going to require a certain amount of strength. Okay.
What's 14 strength work?
13 strength. 14. Okay. Go ahead and roll that strength. And how many pounds did you say, Avalby?
345.
Okay.
I got 40 from my armor and then 15 from the rifle.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Vand, you're able to concentrate at a moment's notice and basically just like seize. Okay, hold on.
Oh, for a second I thought that was
the
music you were putting on.
No.
Man.
That was that was my alarm reminding me I've got to go soon. Okay. But yeah, like you immobilize him just as he like is about to hit a large, jagged rock in on the path of his fall, and you're able to like use your ability to immobilize him to like help him stabilize and get into a position where he can like fly back to where you are. Dagger comes back to you. Okay, yeah. Dagger is heading towards you. Aval, could you roll? I think is there a climbing skill, or would you fly? Would you fly back up, or would you try to climb back?
Fly back up if I could.
Uh-huh.
Like if the winds weren't too strong, because I know that would also affect me flying.
Yeah, the winds are pretty strong, but they're mostly trying to slam you against the mountain. So like since you're staying pretty close to the mountain, you make it back
right.
I'm not gonna ask you to make a roll for this, but yeah. Okay, what do you say anything to each other as when you're reunited after this?
Yeah, I was gonna say he lands back on the mountain, already a little wobbly, not just because he almost fell, but also because he really has never really gotten to operate his wings out in the open air.
Mm-hmm.
You say, how far was the drop on the other side, by the way?
It was like basically like it was a slope that was really steep for a while, and then like it dropped for like 30 meters into some like into pine cones and trees like that you could have gotten pretty hurt falling into.
Yeah, pretty bad. He says. He takes a deep breath and says, "Don't worry, rifle's safe."
I kind of look at him and say, "Be careful, I may not be able to save you."
I will. I'm sorry. I thought I saw the monastery that way.
I kind of look that way, and I assume I don't see the monastery.
You see a strangely angular rock that is very probably naturally occurring.
See, I only see.
Right. Dagger arrives and says, "I found very large footprints heading this way," and like points off of the road that you've been taking, it's like away from the path of the monastery, but towards, but still going uphill around the mountain. He says that might be what we're looking for, but it might also not be. It depends on if it is a like creature that hunts things, then we wouldn't necessarily have found the bodies. So I don't know if it is the right path. What do you do?
I think we should follow the track.
All right. In this case, it's time to roll
I can track
tracking, which doesn't happen very often. So I'm looking forward to that roll.
Hey, it's a good one.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So you are able to find that. You're able to find the tracks and follow them. They're like. It seems like this creature has paws the size of, Dagger's torso, but also it's like it doesn't seem to be like putting an enormous amount of weight onto the snow. They're not like the feet don't sink very deep into the snow compared to like how all of you are trudging through it. So it feels almost like you're like tracking some strange creature, probably something supernatural. You keep going for a while, and and Dagger and like Dagger, who's scouting ahead a little bit, comes back to you, like pointing towards a place that's a bit flatter. When you get there, there's the body of a goat, half eaten, bowels everywhere, and like its head is like 3 feet in one direction, and 2 of its legs are like hanging, dangling off of the cliff, and it looks pretty brutal. And it looks like a beast's feast was interrupted. And Dagger says we probably interrupted it.
Well, this is a fearsome creature, but I don't think this is what we're looking for.
All right, I'm gonna ask a couple of rolls from all of you. First one is gonna be notice, and since nobody's like seems to be actively looking for something, and then somebody can make a medicine check if you want to, if you have the skill, if you want to check the state of the goat creature. And I am going to roll my stealth against you. Well, more like hide, technically. That is not the actual skill level of that creature. So I'm going to roll for Dagger's perception. Notice 130. All right, and creature. Creature. Here it is. Blah blah blah. Hide. Okay. Might not have that good of a hide. Okay, so that's going to be 80. Yup. Okay, and real quick, I need to have a look at the modifiers for hiding and perception, just to try. Okay, so creature of large size. Technically, it is size 22, so it's it has a -20 to hide. It's not hiding in front of you. It has an appropriate hiding place, so it gets a +20 in total. And it's not a featureless room or anything. And notice sight, dimly lit, complete darkness, rain. It is snowing, so I'm going to apply the rain modifiers. That's -20. Target only partially visible. Target appropriately camouflaged for the environment. Yeah. So dagger. So none of you spot the creature.
It's very good.
Do I see any matrices?
No, you don't see any psychic matrices. There's none of the usual like supernatural signs of confronting psychics, but you know that you know that there's only like one or two supernatural creatures that have psychic powers, and the rest is mostly Luxarists and like sentient races that have developed those powers. So you know it's pretty rare. Okay, so anybody have medicine?
Walter does not, and I checked rifle. Rifle also.
All right.
I do not.
And dagger does not. Okay, cool. So yeah, you're not getting more information. What do you do?
Is the singing still there? I didn't hear it. I was just wondering.
No, the singing has stopped.
Is there any more tracks to?
Surprisingly, it feel okay. Your track was 143 and my hide was 152. Avalby, you have this. You're sort of like confused. The tracks they go all around this place. The creatures seem to have been like moving around a lot, taking care of the goats and spreading it out, and then you just don't know where they go after that. Where those Paul, like you, it's like the creature just vanished or something.
Oh, I'll say I'm gonna fly up to get a better vantage point and see if I can see anything.
Sorry. I was going to say also specifically while you're doing that, I'm just gonna because you said the legs were hanging off the edge of a cliff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna go and just look over the edge of the cliff and see what if something fell.
You look down. You think you did already roll notice. You don't see anything having fallen down. It would have left an imprint if something large had fallen in the snow below you. So yeah. Basically, we're just going to consider that the whole terrain image that you're on is tilted, coming towards us. So that basically, like, this place is like tilted, is towards the bottom, and that above you is like tilted upwards. Okay, Vand, you start to take flight. You're gonna get a much better perspective. And then you are going to make a psychic projection test because you're getting attacked.
Oh, okay. So
You do have your teleportation power on, right?
yes, but I just have to put the minus.
Okay. I'm just.
Okay, that's still pretty good. Oh no, I only rolled an 18.
That does not look great. Let's see. I'm not going to be spending fatigues on this one. Okay. That is 60% of the weapon's damage. How much defense do you have against cold? 6?
6.
Right. Okay. So you are okay. So basically, you don't see the attack coming very well. You don't know exactly where it came from, but the air around you is just like ripped apart by a blast of pure energy that's like instantly freezing energy. It's a ray.
Is it based on energy? Because I don't think the armor.
No, it's based. It's cold damage.
Okay.
So like it. Yeah, and just like it hits you. And like it's about to like completely freeze you, but you teleport out of its path just in time. And then like it fades just as quickly as it appeared before you're able to like determine where it came from. If it came from the sky towards the mountain, or if it came from the mountain heading up towards you. It was this like blue and white thing, and it leaves sort of like like bits and pieces of like the snowflakes that it hits are have kind of like doubled in size and are made like of thicker ice and are falling much faster towards the ground in a sort of like glass shower. So yeah, next game we'll start by rolling initiative as you prepare to fight this creature.
Okay, dokie.
All right, and Avelby, I know you helped me create the encounters for today's game because I was lazy, and you put in the all of the characteristics of the thing you were supposed to hunt, and it must surprise you that it's totally not that it's like something with totally different stats that's attacking you. So
Okay, I was gonna say, would you get to see what it's attacking?
yeah, no, it's on purpose. It's not, you're not being attacked by the creature that like I made you copy into the game. So there will always be twists for my players, even if they help me prepare my scenarios. That's it for today. Hope you both had as much fun as I did. It was nice to like explain
Well, no,
the
I'm
lore.
really worried about a goat. But yes, I had fun.
I am happy that I made you like care about this small detail of the world. So that's pretty cool. Tez, did you also enjoy this?
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to help. And I want to feed the goat the green mush.
Good. All right. Well, hopefully you all make it out alive of this encounter against an assassin type monster and whatever else might come after you afterwards. Yeah. I want to keep playing, but I have to go. So.
Okay.
See
We'll
you.
play again soon.
Yeah. See you all in 1 week. and have a nice time. And hopefully we can do the fight with all players being present.
Yes, that would be good. I hope that Titus... I always call him Titus. Is Titan? No, it's... Hold on a second.
Black Sea Tempest?
Tempest, yes. We'll have him, because he hasn't been around for a while and we want to hear from Dagger.
Yay! Alright. See you next week. Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.